As you know, Prince Andrew denies the allegations against him, and he says that this photos are fake, that he was never there, and that he's not his arm, and they're not his fingers.
Oh, the chubby fingers. I know. I mean, these are the lame excuses that he keeps coming up with. I mean, these aren't his fingers, really.
He has been keeping a low profile for months now, and honestly, it has looked less like a calculated retreat and more like a gradual unraveling. Since the renewed fallout surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, and as Virginia's story has stayed in the spotlight through her posthumous memoir, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has been pushed further and further out of sight. Fewer public appearances, fewer allies willing to speak on his behalf, and fewer signs of any genuine route back. Yet the most telling detail in the latest reports is not a legal development or a palace statement. It is the snapshot of how he spends his days behind the gates of Royal Lodge. According to an insider quoted in reports circulating this week, Andrew has a very ordinary pastime that he has always enjoyed and is now relying on more than ever. Andrew spends most of his time on the couch watching television. The source says he watches a great deal of TV, has always done so, and has long been something of a couch potato. That single line carries weight because it shifts the narrative from royal scandal to something smaller and bleaker, a man in a 30-room house, increasingly cut off, filling his days on the sofa. It also aligns with other accounts of his current routine that he sometimes rides, shoots, plays golf, and watches television. He does not drink or smoke. He no longer goes out to dinner. The London club scene is firmly in his past. In short, his world has narrowed into a repetitive cycle, with Royal Lodge at its core. What makes this couch potato detail worth noting is what it quietly suggests. It implies Andrew is not using this time to meaningfully reinvent his life. There is no sign of a defined charitable role, no behind-the-scenes work, not even hints of a full schedule that would point to a strong support network still intact. Instead, much of the coverage returns to the same conclusion. People simply are not visiting anymore. Breaking tonight.
Tonight, Prince Andrew is giving up all of his titles, including the Duke of York. It follows a string of scandals surrounding his relationship with paedophile Jeffrey Epstein and his relationship with an alleged Chinese spy. But, of course, he will remain a prince, as this remains his...
One biographer quoted in the reporting says that no one visits him anymore and describes him as both abandoned and embittered. You do not need to accept every comment as absolute truth to see the wider pattern. Across multiple accounts, the message is the same. Andrew is no longer moving through the world. He is living inwardly, confined to a small and steadily shrinking bubble that seems to close in on him month after month. Royal Lodge, of course, is not just any house. It has been his home since 2003, a 30-room estate in Windsor, and the backdrop to decades of private routine, staff, habits, and control. And that sense of control is exactly what now appears to be slipping, because he is believed to be entering his final weeks there ahead of an expected move next year. As things stand, when he wants to be outside without facing anyone, he rides. We have seen him photographed doing just that, even in heavy rain, looking downcast and alone, accompanied only by a groom. What caught attention was that after months of avoiding cameras, he was photographed riding twice in 3 days. Then he returns, perhaps to golf or shoot, depending on what has been arranged. Then it is back home again, followed by long, unbroken hours of television.
Giuffre, the woman who accused Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew of crimes, has died, aged 41. Her family has issued a statement confirming she died by suicide at her farm near Perth.
A sofa, glowing screens, and the same familiar room with the same familiar routine, except now the constant undertone is that everything is coming to an end. Andrew is someone who clings to ritual and control, even when it appears odd to outsiders. So when reports say he is expected to move largely against his wishes, it is not simply about downsizing. It is about being pushed out of the environment where he could live entirely on his own terms, out of sight, surrounded by the remnants of royal life. That makes the couch potato description feel less like a casual insult and more like a clue to his state of mind. He is not building a new future. He is waiting out the present one. People who worked in and around Royal Lodge have long described Andrew as inflexible in his habits and deeply uneasy when things were not done exactly his way. There are repeated accounts of an intense need to control his surroundings, his routines, and even the smallest details of everyday life. One anecdote often cited in reporting is especially revealing. According to sources, Andrew once called a staff member in to show him how to use the television remote control rather than adjusting it or learning it himself. It may sound minor, but to former staff, it said everything.
This is what we do know about Prince Andrew and the businessman and convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. We know Prince Andrew got to know Jeffrey Epstein in 1999. We know that he saw him fairly regularly for some.
A dependence on others for minor tasks, an expectation of instant assistance, and a reluctance to adapt when anything fell outside his preferred routine. Viewed through that lens, the image of Andrew spending long hours watching television is not simply about laziness or killing time. It reflects a long-established pattern of control, reliance, and an unwillingness to bend as the world around him changes. There have been a handful of rare appearances, and even those have felt strained. He attended the christening of his granddaughter at St. James's Palace. He was reportedly driven there discreetly, tucked away in the back of a car. Then came the detail that spoke for itself. He did not join Princess Beatrice, her husband, and friends at the pub afterward. Some will see that as sensible, keeping a low profile, avoiding cameras, avoiding headlines. But it also highlights how isolated he is now, even from the ordinary human moments of family life. The pub visit after the christening is the part that does not involve titles. It is simply family, a meal, a drink, a bit of warmth, and he was not included in it.
New fallout overseas just days after Prince Andrew announced he'll stop using his royal titles.
Now he faces new allegations and investigations related to Jeffrey Epstein and Virginia Giuffre.
It all comes just one day before Giuffre's memoir detailing her time with Andrew is set to be released. Here's ABC's Ian Pannell.
Which brings us back to the question hanging over all of this. If he is not welcome at major public events, and he is not taking part in the smaller private moments either, then what remains? If the reporting is accurate, what remains is Royal Lodge, a horseback ride in the rain, and long hours of television. And the timing matters, because the move is expected to happen next year. Royal Lodge is the final place where Andrew can pretend his old life is still intact. Once he leaves, the narrative shifts. It becomes harder to conceal, harder to shape, and harder to deny that this situation is permanent. So let me ask you this. Do you think the couch potato portrayal is fair, the simplest way to describe what his life has become, or do you think it is being pushed by the press to humiliate him at the exact moment he is being forced out of Royal Lodge, or perhaps to stir sympathy? And if this truly is his daily reality now, do you think he accepts it quietly, or do you think he still tries to push for some kind of comeback, even in a small and tightly controlled way? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want the next updates as the Royal Lodge story moves closer to its conclusion, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.